Hello everyone and welcome to Rollin'-ish. I'm Matt, and in this video we're taking a retrospective look back at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. If you haven't done so already, head over to our class playlist. There you're going to find an intro to video for all the classes and what you get for those classes in levels 1 through 20. You're also going to find videos that break down each subclass offered by the 2014 Player's Handbook and those that were featured in the supplemental book, Xanathar's Guide to Everything. These are going to have the tag XGTE in the name of the video, much like this video has the tag TCoE for Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Due to the recent release of the 2024 Player's Handbook, we've been looking back at the 2014 Player's Handbook and the supplements Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything to take a look and see what we were being offered. So when we get to videos that cover the 2024 Player's Handbook, we can see what we will be offered now and maybe pick and choose from things that we like from both, because we can do that. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the Eldritch Invocations for the Warlock class. Now, if you haven't been keeping up or you don't really know much about Warlocks, the Eldritch Invocation is like a special move that the Warlock can do. At second level, you can pick two of your choice from a list. And every time you gain a level in Warlock, you can choose one of those Eldritch Invocations to swap out for another one you previously didn't choose, so you can keep many arrows in your quiver, so to speak. At certain levels, you are able to know more Eldritch Invocations, and more options become available to you because some of them have prerequisites for you to be of a certain level. So at second level, you start with 2. You gain a third one at level 5, a fourth one at level 7, a fifth one at level 9, a sixth one at level 12, a seventh one at level 15, and an 8th Eldritch Invocation at level 18. So you're going to have a lot to choose from, but you're also going to have up to that amount per your level to actually use in-game. So Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything gave us some options, and we're going to look at what Tasha's gave us as far as their Eldritch Invocation options, and there's a couple that we're going to review. First, and they're listed in alphabetical order, not by level, but first is the Bond of the Talisman. There is a prerequisite here for you to at least be a 12th level Warlock and have the Pack of the Talisman feature. If you have both, the Bond of the Talisman will be an option for you. While someone else is wearing your talisman, you can use your action to teleport to the unoccupied space closest to them, provided the two of you are on the same plane of existence. The wearer of your talisman can do the same thing using their action to teleport to you. The teleportation can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored when you finish a long rest. You're bonded to that talisman, so you have an idea of where that is. Now, the only real rule that stands out in this description is as long as you're on the same plane of existence. So that to me tells me that if perhaps a rogue or someone else steals your talisman, you're still bonded to it and you'll be able to teleport to it. Now, what happens when you get to it is a whole different story that you need to work out with your DM, but it could provide some very interesting moments. Next, you have the Eldritch Mind feature. No prerequisite here, so this will be an option that you get when you choose Warlock at second level, assuming you're using the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything features that come along with. Make sure you talk to your DM. But if you choose Eldritch Mind, you're going to have advantage on Constitution saving throws you make to maintain concentration on a spell. That's nice. Anytime you would cast a concentration spell, you need to maintain that concentration for the time allotted for that spell to continue its effect. When you take damage, it could be a disruption to your concentration. And when that happens, your DM is going to ask you to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration on that spell. This, Eldritch Mind, would give you advantage on that roll. It's a good one. Next, we have Far Scribe. The prerequisite here is for you to at least be a 5th level Warlock and have the Pact of the Tome feature. Assuming that you have both, Far Scribe becomes an option to you. A new page appears in your Book of Shadows. With your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on that page, which can contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus. You can cast the Sending spell, targeting a creature whose name is on the page without using a spell slot and without material components. To do so, you must write the message on the page. The target hears the message in their mind, and if the target replies, their message appears on the page rather than in your mind. The writing disappears after a minute. As an action, you can magically erase a name on the page by touching it. So, if you break up, things like that. This totally reminds me, though, of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets when Harry gets Tom Riddle's diary and he's writing back and forth to it. That. I love that. I think that's pretty cool. Especially if you're dealing with a campaign where there's a lot of mental stuff going on. Let's say there's a bad guy and they're trying to eavesdrop on telepathic messages like this. This is a good way to protect it because the response, the thing you're trying to hear probably the most, is going to appear in your book for you to read and not in your head where it can be intercepted. So I think that's pretty cool. I like that. It's kind of a extreme circumstance, the example I gave, but I think it's a good option. It's a good option to have it in your book, and I think it gives some versatility and some weight and importance to that Book of Shadows that you're carrying around anyway. So that's pretty cool. Next is the Gift of Protectors. The prerequisite here is that you're a 9th level Warlock with the Pact of the Tome feature. Assuming you have both, a new page appears in your Book of Shadows. With your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on that page, which can contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus. When a creature whose name is on the page is reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, the creature magically drops to 1 hit point instead. Once this magic is triggered, no creature can benefit from it until you finish a long rest. As an action, you can magically erase a name on the page by touching it. I like that a lot too. And I like that it's balanced because, as you would imagine, if I'm playing this Warlock and I'm in an adventuring party of people whom I trust, I would want their names on this page. Because if they drop to 0 hit points, they drop to 1 instead. Of course I want that for my party. But you can only do so once until you finish a long rest. So even if everybody's name is on it, once one person triggers that 1 point comeback, that's it. No one else can actually utilize it until I finish a long rest. So that is pretty balanced, and it's going to make for some decisions to be made in the party during that encounter, whatever that might be. And it's good and it's helpful, but it also could be sticky given the severity of the danger and the situation that you're in. But I think that's pretty cool. Investment of the Chain Master. Prerequisite, Pact of the Chain feature. When you cast Find Familiar, you infuse the summoned familiar with a measure of your eldritch power, granting the creature the following benefits. The familiar gains either a flying speed or a swimming speed, your choice, of 40 feet. As a bonus action, you can command the familiar to take the attack action. The familiar's weapon attacks are considered magical for the purpose of overcoming immunity and resistance to non-magical attacks. If the familiar forces a creature to make a saving throw, it uses your spell save DC. When the familiar takes damage, you can use your reaction to grant it resistance against that damage. I can just use my reaction and you have resistance. I like this a lot. And if you're Pact of the Chain, I think you need to have this active. It's mainly for your familiar. It's going to make your familiar much stronger. And I think that's a good option. I think that's a good idea because that's the point of Pact of the Chain, is to have this creature kind of be your little minion sidekick. And this is going to make it stronger. It's you investing in your little minion. I love that. I don't think there's anything in the list that would want to keep me from taking that. So I think that's a high-tiered Eldritch Invocation in my mind. All right, next we have the Protection of the Talisman. Prerequisite, 7th level Warlock, Pact of the Talisman feature. When the wearer of your talisman fails a saving throw, they can add a D4 to the roll, potentially turning the save into a success. This benefit can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored when you finish a long rest. So it's just saving throws, so it's kind of like the resistance spell, and it is literally for anyone who wears that, so that's pretty good. That could come in handy. Rebuke of the Talisman. Prerequisite here is Pact of the Talisman feature. When the wearer of your talisman is hit by an attacker you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal psychic damage to the attacker equal to your proficiency bonus and push it up to 10 feet away from the talisman's wearer. I like that a lot too because it's your reaction to deal psychic damage equal to the proficiency bonus. It just happens. It's auto damage. And push it 10 feet away from your talisman's wearer. That also is really handy because as a DM, if you push that creature 10 feet away and they are otherwise engaged in combat, they are going to suffer the effects of an opportunity attack from anybody it was engaged with. So the fact that you're able to push it and cause it to be attacked by anyone else at the table near it, using their reaction to do the opportunity attack, makes that worth it. The psychic damage is pretty good, just happens, and it's not a lot because your proficiency bonus isn't going to be that high. The prerequisite is packed with the talisman feature, so you can get this early on at lower levels. I like it because the 10 feet away from you push. Opportunity attacks, man. You got to get those in when you can. Okay, lastly, we have Undying Servitude. The prerequisite here is 5th level Warlock. You can cast Animate Dead without using a spell slot. Once you do so, you can't cast it in this way again until you finish a long rest. I like that a lot, because Animate Dead at 5th level Warlock, to be able to cast a 3rd level Necromancy spell is pretty strong. It's instantaneous. It takes 1 whole minute to cast in a range of 10 feet, so you're going to need time to cast this spell, maybe even a little protection. But what it does, you choose a pile of bones or a corpse of a medium or small humanoid within the range of 10 feet. Your spell imbues the target with a foul mimicry of life, raising it as an undead creature. The target becomes a skeleton if you chose bones, or a zombie if you chose corpse. And the GM will allow you the statistics or the stat block. So you have that. On each of your turns, you can use a bonus action to mentally command any creature you made with the spell if the creature is within 60 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures, you can command any or all of them at the same time, issuing the same command to each one. You decide what action the creature will take and where it will move during its next turn, or you can issue a general command such as to guard a particular chamber or corridor. If you issue no commands, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once given an order, the creature continues to follow it until the task is complete. So these are going to be your undead minions. So if you are interested in the necromancy way, the necromancy spells, this is for you. Again, Animate Dead is a high level, it's not high level. It's high level for being 5th level, because it's a 3rd level spell. So to get it that soon is pretty cool. And then, you can have some minions around you. So if you didn't take Pact of the Chain and you don't have a familiar, have some skeletons or a zombie follow you around. Okay. These are all some pretty good Eldritch Invocation options offered by Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So if you're a Warlock, talk to your DM. Maybe you consider them. If you haven't been playing them already, this has been out for quite a while. But in our next video, which will be our last for the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything series, we're going to be taking a look at the subclasses offered for the Wizard class. Until then, have fun building your Warlock, and we'll see you at the table.